So the Chafetz Chaim says, "Klolu shadav." What's the basic principle? Why is this so ignored and so abused? Puloso achs mishneh. For one of two reasons. Either the evil inclination, he convinces us that this is not categorized as talk, speech that you're not permitted to say. Or this kind of person, you're permitted to speak negatively of. It's a mitzvah even to speak about this person. So one of two ways, as he say, he has a script. The person's a salesman, and he knows his customers. Each one, he has his pitch. It's a general pitch, but he has a very specific pitch for each one because he knows exactly the vulnerability of everyone, what's going to convince him, and how he puts the hook in that guy. The evil inclination knows our weak points, exactly what to say, how to present it, regardless of who you are. Nobody's infallible. Every one of us, I once explained something, we're coming to Pesach, so we're not permitted to eat chametz, leavened grain product. What does chametz represent? It represents, based on the Arizal, on the Zohar, it represents the evil inclination. Any fermented product, leavened product, it's tasty. So taste, something which is tasty represents desire, and also it rises, it swells. That's how something actually ferments, becomes leavened. That represents arrogance, haughtiness, pompousness. Matzah is bland and it's low. That's humility and not craving for desire. So the Torah says for 7 days, a Jew has to wean himself from that tasty food, the leavened product, which is the chametz, and also you have to be more humble. So by eating this, because God says that will impact on your spirituality. If you eat it with the right reasons, it'll even have a greater positive effect. That's what it does. Now it's interesting. We find at the beginning of Pesach, in the time of the Beis Hamikdash, the temple, there was an offering brought. It was called the Omer offering. We speak about the meal offerings. All meal offerings were made of matzah. They were not chametz. They didn't allow them to become chametz, become leavened. They're all matzah, except the two meal offerings which are leavened. One is the communal meal offering that's brought on Shavuos. It's called Shtei Alechem, the 2 loaves. It's chametz. And the other is the Todah offering, which we read in this week's portion, the thanks offering. The thanks offering is chametz, and the 2 loaves that are brought on communal offerings, brought on Shavuos, is leavened. Now, the reason why the Todah is leavened, the thanks offering, when does a person bring a thanks offering? One of 4 situations. A person travels the high seas, and he comes back alive, although he was in a state of danger. He has to give thanks to God that he came back alive. Person traverses a desert. It's a location of danger. He has to bring a thanks offering. Person has a serious illness and he recovers, you bring a thanks offering. Person is imprisoned and he comes out alive, intact, you bring a thanks offering. Now, if a person is truly free of sin and he doesn't deserve to be harmed to any degree, so why should he bring a thanks offering? Person says to somebody, person never borrowed a dime in his life, and a man comes to you and says, you owe me a thank you. Because I could have lent you $1 million and I didn't because you didn't need it. I think therefore you should say thank you to me. Thank you. Why should I say thank you? What did you ever do for me? Thank God I didn't need you. Right? You say thank you. It's only if I'm a debtor and you go and you say, it's okay. You pay whenever you choose to pay. And then finally I pay. When I choose to pay, I say thank you for not having that pressure on me that I have to pay exactly on the due date. That's worthy of thank you. So if a person doesn't deserve to be harmed, what do you have to bring a thanks offering? The answer is none of our records are perfect. It's far from perfect. We all have sins. So if that's the case, being in a state of danger, we could have been compromised. Why weren't we compromised? Because of God's mercy. Otherwise, we should have. If that's the case, you say thank you. We should have, we weren't. Thank you. A, B, C, D. That's it. This is how some of the commentators explain it. But what about, it's interesting, all meal offerings are made of wheat flour. Barley, the Omer offering we bring on the second day of Pesach is barley. Barley, the Mishnah tells us, is animal fodder. That the main consumption is barley is by animals. Wheat, the consumption of wheat is human consumption. So why do we bring the communal offering on the second day of Pesach? Why is it barley rather than wheat? So the Maral of Prague explains that when we left Egypt, what exactly was our spiritual level? We were pagans. So in regard to what a human being should be, we lived as physical beings. That's the animal. So to represent our spiritual standing, it's barley, it's animal fodder. Every day we advanced closer to Sinai. Every day we were a notch up in our spirituality. Finally, we reached a pinnacle of our spirituality on the 50th day. That day God took us to be his people. Then we became the ultimate human being, fully integrated our spirituality, our beliefs, to be worthy, to be the receptacle, to receive the Torah and become God's favorite nation, chosen nation, holy nation, princely, kingly nation. So what did we ascend to? We ascended to the level. So there, what are the two loaves of bread made of? Wheat flour. Wheat represents the ultimate human being. We ascended from the animal level to the special human being. But you know, the shtei alechem, the two loaves of bread, it has chametz. Only if it's leavened is it valid. It's not leavened, it's not valid. It's contrary to the whole understanding. Here we've achieved the pinnacle of our spirituality, and therefore it's wheat, from the barley to the wheat. And God says, now at that special level, we're the equivalent of angels, it has to be chametz. Leavened. Leavened is the Yetzer Hara. That's the evil inclination. This is all the machinations representing the evil inclination. If it's not leavened, it doesn't qualify. Why? The answer is very simple. If a human being ever believes he's invincible and he's not vulnerable to the seduction of the evil inclination, it's just before you know it, he throws you off the cliff. You always have to be cognizant until the day that you no longer live. You're always subject to his machinations. So even when you reach the ultimate pinnacle, you still could fall to the bottom of that mountain. It's a slippery slope. What happened? Moshe Rabbeinu ascends to heaven for 40 days and 40 nights. He's delayed one day due to a mistake. The Jews are doing idolatry. Here they're at the pinnacle of their spirituality, Nasav and Nishma, which God's amazed at the declaration. And you turn around, short time later, they're involved with a golden calf. So what do we see? That even if you're at that level, that special level, you always have to be cognizant.